Is there a sin so heavy that it snaps the spine of your soul? Is there a mistake so dark that even God turns off the lights? I'm not talking about the little lies we tell ourselves to get through the day. I'm talking about the kind of secret that wakes you up at 3 a.m., sweating, gasping for air, convinced that there is a special place in hell reserved just for you. For a woman we will call Elena, this wasn't a philosophical question. It was the air she breathed. She was walking around with a corpse in her heart. A secret she had buried under 30 years of silence. She was absolutely certain, mathematically certain, that she was unforgivable. But she made one miscalculation. She didn't account for a grumpy, wounded friar in the mountains of Italy who didn't need you to speak to hear your confession. A man who could look at a stranger and see the movie of their entire life playing in their eyes. This is the story of what happens when a woman who thinks she's a monster meets a saint who sees something else entirely. Let's go back 30 years. Picture the scene. It's not just sad. It is desperate. Elena is young. She is destitute. The world has closed its doors on her. In a moment of panic that feels like a fever dream, she makes a decision that will define the rest of her life. She walks to the steps of an orphanage. The stone is cold. The night is quiet. She places her newborn child on those steps. And then, she walks away. Stop and feel the weight of that moment. The sound of her own footsteps echoing on the cobblestones. The terrifying silence behind her, where a cry should be. She tells herself she's doing it for the child. She tells herself it's mercy. But the moment she turns that corner, the guilt slams into her. It's not just regret. It is a physical weight. It settles in her chest, and for the next 3 decades, it never leaves. 30 years. That is 10,950 days. Every single one of them lived in the shadow of that orphanage step. Elena constructs a life that looks normal from the outside. She smiles at neighbors. She buys bread. She goes to mass. But inside, she is hollow. Every time she sees a mother holding a child's hand in the market, it feels like a knife twisting in her gut. Every time she hears a baby cry, it's an indictment. She prays, but her prayers feel like they're hitting a ceiling made of lead. She is convinced she has committed the unforgivable sin. She believes she hasn't just abandoned a baby. She has abandoned her right to be loved by God. This is the distinct, cold flavor of despair. It's the belief that your sin is bigger than God's mercy. But then, a whisper starts to circulate through Italy. Rumors of a Capuchin friar in a remote, dusty town called San Giovanni Rotondo. People are saying impossible things about him. They say he bleeds from his hands and feet. The stigmata. They say he fights with the devil in his cell at night. But the rumor that catches Elena's ear, the one that makes her blood run cold, is about his eyes. They say this Padre Pio has cardiognosis, heart knowledge. They say you can't lie to him. They say he knows your sins before you even open your mouth. Ideally, this should have terrified her. If you are hiding a monster in your closet, the last person you want to visit is a man with X-ray vision. But desperation is a funny thing. It overrides fear. Elena is drowning, and this friar looks like the only lifeboat in the ocean. She packs her bags. She takes the long, winding journey up the mountain. She is going to face the judge. When she arrives, San Giovanni Rotondo is a madhouse. It's hot. It's crowded. Thousands of pilgrims are jostling for a glimpse of the saint. The air smells of sweat, wax, and cheap tobacco. For days, Elena waits. She watches people go into the confessional. She watches them come out weeping, shaking, radiant. It's a hospital for souls, and the surgeon is known to be rough. Padre Pio wasn't a gentle, soft-spoken therapist. He was a warrior. He would shout at people. He would kick them out if they weren't truly sorry. He once said, "I do not give candy to sinners who need a laxative." Finally, it's her turn. Her number is called. She steps into the gloom of the confessional. The wooden screen separates them. She can hear his breathing. This is the moment. The silence stretches out, heavy and suffocating. She tries to speak. She tries to confess the standard things. I got angry. I missed Mass. But the words turn to ash in her mouth. The big secret, the 30-year-old stone, is stuck in her throat. She can't say it. She physically cannot say it. She is about to give up. She is about to flee the box and run back to her misery. And then, the voice comes through the screen. It isn't angry. It isn't loud. It is steeped in a sorrow so deep it feels like it comes from the bottom of the earth. "My daughter," the friar whispers, "we have been waiting for you." Elena freezes. "The child," he continues, his voice breaking, "the child you left on the steps. You have been carrying him in your soul for 30 years. The world stops. The air leaves the room. He knows. He isn't guessing. He isn't reading her body language. He is seeing the scene. According to the accounts, he starts to describe the details. The gray morning, the cold steps, the trembling of her hands. He narrates the worst moment of her life back to her, as if he was standing right there beside her when it happened. Elena collapses. The dam breaks. She is sobbing, shaking, waiting for the lightning bolt, waiting for him to say, "Get out. You are a monster." She braces herself for the condemnation she has been rehearsing in her head for 3 decades. But the blow never comes. Instead, Padre Pio leans in against the screen, and he delivers a plot twist that changes the entire theology of suffering. He asks her a question that makes no sense. "My daughter, you see only the sin, but do you know what has become of the child's soul?" She shakes her head, blinded by tears. "For 30 years, he says, every tear you shed, every moment of agony you suffered, every night you lay awake in guilt, God did not waste a single second of it." Listen to what he says next, because it is the key to everything. "God took your pain," Padre Pio tells her, "and he used it. He transformed your suffering into a shield of grace for that child. Every day of his life, he has been protected by the prayers of your tears. He has been safe, wrapped in the mantle of the Virgin Mary, bought and paid for by the mother's penance." Do you understand what he is saying? Elena thought her pain was a punishment. She thought it was just the meaningless exhaust fumes of her sin. But Padre Pio pulls back the curtain of reality and shows her the economy of heaven. Nothing is wasted, not even your mistakes, especially not your pain. God had taken the worst thing she ever did, and the 30 years of misery that followed, and he had alchemized it into protection for the very person she thought she had destroyed. He tells her, "The sin was grave, yes, but the real sin, the one that is killing you, is your despair. You think your guilt is bigger than God's love? That is arrogance," he commands her. He doesn't just suggest it, he orders her with the authority of a general. "Place a tombstone on this sin. It is gone. Jesus has paid for it. Now you must forgive yourself." In that dark little box, the lights turn on. The weight of 30 years evaporates. Elena walks out of that confessional, and for the first time in decades, she takes a breath of air that doesn't taste like regret. She realizes that while she cannot change the past has been redeemed in a way she never could have imagined. This is the radical, terrifying, beautiful message of Padre Pio. We look at our lives and see a mess of broken pieces. We see abandoned duties, failed relationships, secret shames. We see a pile of rocks. But the saint looks at that same pile and sees a cathedral waiting to be built. He teaches us that if you bring your suffering to God, even the suffering you caused yourself, he doesn't just forgive it, he uses it. So whatever stone you are carrying in your chest today, whatever unforgivable thing is keeping you up at night, put it down. Stop looking at the steps where you left it. Look up, because if a friar in the mountains could see the redemption in Elena's story, imagine what the God who made him sees in yours.